Yes, a good evening to you and welcome to Sports Hub on Impact Radio 102.1 FM, where we take you around all the major stories making the rounds in the world of sport. And damn, I can tell you for certain, it is going to be a hot weekend of sports. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get ready. The NPFL is back. Somebody say hallelujah. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. The NPFL is back, as well as the US Open. Ladies and gentlemen, quite a lot has been happening on the US Open. Some people are advancing. Some people are falling by the wayside. Nonetheless, we're going to be here to bring you all the latest gist, gossips, and of course, everything happening live. Don't forget, some matches are getting played at the moment. Yes, sir. Championships qualifiers, Champions League qualifiers rather, continues. And ladies and gentlemen, quite some teams are going to be playing today, as well as we're going to be having the Carabao Cup happen today as well, where Chelsea will be playing AFC Wimbledon at exactly 7:45 p.m. Stick around, we're going to be right here to bring you all the latest gossips and gist as it unfolds in the world of sports. Don't forget, we've got some transfer news. Friday is the deadline for the summer transfer window to close. And yeah, some teams are trying to make a last minute buy. We're hearing that Nigeria's Wilfred Ndidi is on the radar of Nottingham Forest. This guy was worth 60 million pounds about, some years ago, 2021, and right now is worth about 8 million pounds. How the mighty have fallen. Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, I am not alone in the studio today. We're going to be talking a lot on the show. I have with me, I call him my wingman, my guy, my G. I also call him my brother. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the show with me. Government name Ayodeji Ajiboye, but we call him AY the Wave Sugar on radio. Welcome, my G. How are you doing? Great to have you on the program.
Yeah, good evening to you, Damilola. Good evening to you, listeners out there. Feels good to be back on the Sports Hub show. As usual, we're here to talk sports, tell you about everything and all that's happening in the ever-exciting world of sports. Yes, the US Open is here, and then we've seen guys, dropping shots. Some are already out, like, the ever-standing Venus Williams. She's out already in what is our 24th US Open, and it's a pity she could not make it past the first round. And yes, you're seeing the likes of, Novak Djokovic making through to the next round, a certain Carlos Alcaraz as well, and then hopefully he's not going to be maintaining that number one spot at the end of the US Open. And a couple of other players are still doing very, very good for themselves as it stands right now, but then you can't tell what's going to come up for them in the second round. And yes, thank God, just like you mentioned, hallelujah, we're going to be seeing our NPFL start back next month, September. First weekend of September, I tell you, the NPFL is back, and then it's back for good. And then we can look forward to all of the mouth-watering encounters I will be seeing in the first leg of that one. Eyimba versus Bendel Insure, I tell you, want to really look out
one way to open the league.
I tell you, and then if by any means they can just make it the season's opener, I mean, to be very, very good for the fans to see. But then, yeah, it feels good to know that the league will be coming back soon. But then, I just feel bad about all of the, the happenings are coming out, or the news are coming out from the NFF now, talking about the coaching and all of that. Yeah. Giving
Nigeria
an ultimatum that he needs to get a pay cut, and then outrightly telling Randy Wardrum that his job is over. I mean, this is not a good omen. It's not passing a good message. So you don't want someone to call you out, and then you're not doing the right thing. I mean, it's a bad thing, by the way. And yeah, all of this and many more will be taking a look at in the course of the show this evening. Let's have a good ride.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all of this will bring to you on the show today on Impact Radio 102.1 FM. In the meantime, we're going to go on a break right now. When we come back, we're going to take a look into all the major stories, begin on the home front, and go straight to the world as we unfold sport to you in the next, let's say, 20-25 minutes. Stick around. My name is ADT the Radio OG. AY's will be in the studio. We'll be back in a bit.
The stakes are high. The competition is huge.
Chelsea are getting closer.
The prize of victory all reward.
The goal from Gabriel Martinelli!
And no matter the teams we stand with, everyone believes this season is our season. Catch all the footballing action from the leagues in the world live on Sports Hub. Mondays and Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. and on Saturdays at 2 p.m. on High Impact 102.1 FM.
All right, welcome back to the show. It's still Sports Urban High Impact Radio 102.1 FM, where we're serving the latest in the world of sports. Before we come to the home front, let us take a look at what is happening right now in the world of tennis. The U.S. Open is live, and ladies and gentlemen, quite a number of recorded victories and upsets, nonetheless. But yeah. Let us begin with this one. Notable names to have qualified in the women's division. Coco Gauff was able to beat Mira Andreeva to reach the third round of the U.S. Open. This just came in about less than a minute ago. Yes, American sixth seed Coco Gauff progressed to the third round of the U.S. Open after beating fellow teenager Mira Andreeva in straight sets. Gauff, who is age 19, beats a Russian opponent 6-3, 6-2 in New Yorker to keep alive her hopes of her first major singles title. She reached the quarterfinals of the tournament last year. Gauff had to fight back to see off German qualifier Laura Siegmund in the first round, but this time she produced an impressive display to progress to the next round. Andreeva, who is age 16 years of age, enjoyed an incredible rise in the recent months, climbing from the 293rd in the world in December to 62nd, and also reached the last 16 of the Australian Open and Wimbledon. She produced some impressive tennis of her own on today's match against Coco Gauff, but of course she was no match for Coco Gauff, who has found an inspired form in the matchup today. Well, someone is progressing. In the meantime, we got some other news in the meantime coming out from the other side. One interesting story that has been making the rounds in the U.S. Open and women's division is this lady, Lily Miyazaki, who has been really going around and around. But you know what? They put a halt to a rally. Yes, British qualifier Lily Miyazaki saw a memorable U.S. Open run come to an end with a second round exit against Olympic champion Belinda Bencic. Yes, Miyazaki had never qualified for a Grand Slam main draw until she won 3 matches to reach the first round. The British number 7 backed that up with a straight set victory over Russia Margarita Betova. But Bencic was a different proposition, and Miyazaki, despite frustrating the 15th seed Swiss, was beaten 6-3, 6-3 to wrap up a run in the U.S. Open. Nevertheless, Miyazaki will take a lot of confidence and knowledge from an experience at the hardcourt Grand Slam, which she says could be career-changing. In the men's singles, ladies and gentlemen, Andy Murray, Katie Butler, Cameron Norrie, Dan Evans, Jack Draper, and Jody Burrage win. You're wondering why they call these names together? Well, they have one thing in common. They are all from Britain, and it's like all the British, are heading straight for the win this year. It's quite interesting because at this point in time, we're going to have somebody drop down for all the major guys from Britain. Andy Murray, Katie Butler, Cameron Norrie, Dan Evans, Jack Draper, and Jody Burrage have all won in their respective sets and their respective matches to progress to the next round. All right. Cameron Norrie, Dan Evans, and Jack Draper all progressed without dropping a set. Andy Murray had to come back, and survive a scare to win his own match. But of course, it's a good one. In the meantime, currently being played right now, we have Djokovic is playing against Zapata Miralles. The first set, Djokovic is leading by 5 game points to 4. But Miralles is giving a run for his money. Before now, about a minute ago, or about 5 minutes ago rather, Djokovic was leading this set 4-0. and right now it's back to 5-4. Morales is saying, yo man, you might be the world number something, I don't really care. I'm going to beat you on the court. I'm going to give you a run for your money. But of course, Alcaraz, of course, is won his own set 1-0. Won his own set 6. He's won his first set, and he's currently leading his second set against, or rather beat Dominic Kopfer of Germany 6-2, 3-2, as of course Kopfer retired for that match due to injury. Let's talk about this one right now. Currently being played as well, Iga Swiatek is playing against Saville of Australia, or New Zealand rather, and it's interesting. Later today we want to see Dominic Thiem against Shelton. In one match I really want to see Stefanos Tsitsipas is playing a really interesting encounter right now. They have played 4 sets, and it's tight, really tight. Tsitsipas leads by 2 sets to 1 against Swiss striker. Striker won the first set 7-5. Tsitsipas came back in the second set to win 7-6. The third set, Tsitsipas won 7-6 to make it 2-1. They are playing the fourth set right now, and they are currently tied on game points 6-6 at the moment. Is this going to be the end of the run of Tsitsipas in this matchup?
Well, might not be. But obviously, striker is definitely giving a run for his money right now.
A run for his title, bro.
They are into another tie break right now. As we speak, they are into another tie break, and then you cannot tell what's going to happen from this one. Cause it just calls for you to say wow, just wow. Because no one would have expected that he will be taking Tsitsipas to this point. I mean, he's broken down when serving for at least twice in this particular game, and then you can always tell that games like this, when you don't get to kill them early on, they might actually come back to haunt you at the end of the day. So hopefully Tsitsipas is going to be able to rally around and get a win from this one, because yes, he needs to get into the next round, so people don't come for him just like they are coming for his girlfriend now, talking about Paulo Badosa right now, because they feel Paulo Badosa actually pulled out of this US Open due to some injury concerns, and then people already saying that maybe it's because of his boyfriend or something like that. So hopefully he gets to proceed in this particular one. Not a good one though, but then it's a big miss for Dominic right now, and then he's not able to get on set point. And so talking about Coco Gauff, just like you mentioned, I'm so very much happy for her right now, and then I'm looking forward to what she's going to do in this particular tournament. Possibly she might just go ahead and get lay her hands on this major Grand Slam at the end of the day, because this is just the way a certain Marocano did as in 2021, and then she went all ahead. And don't forget that she played against this same Mira Andreeva at the Roland Garros, talking about the French Open, and then we saw how that one actually panned out. But now she seemed like someone who was very much emotionally ready for this particular tournament, and then hopefully she can go on and on in this one. Let's just see how it's going to pan out. But then I can always tell you that I'm looking to put my money on the 19-year-old Coco Gauff right now, because she mentioned at the end of the game, like, she's been in her place before, and now it's the turn of Andreeva to also feel how it usually feels when you are playing at a major slam, and then someone just comes to pull you out like that.
One thing we can say for sure is the fact that this entire US Open has been a lot and more that we asked for. Yes, it's recording quite a number of regular victories, of course, from the main guys. These guys will drop a win, but at the same time, I think I'm not getting the wins easy, because any guys are facing right now, and it's just the first.
Bernard Admir is out already. The player who is in the top 20, and I tell you, the person that actually defeated her is Taylor Townsend, and then this person is not even in the top 20 at all, and then he is into the next round now. Defeated her 7-6, 7-5 to reach the third round. I tell you, something you will never see coming.
Let's wait and see. But let's go away from the world of tennis right now, because we're gonna go and let's go straight to some news coming out from the Nigerian scene. Of course, a lot has been happening. Coach Randy Waldrum, as well as Coach Jose Peseiro. NFF is in shambles right now, if you ask me, because of course, we thought that after the final of Super Falcons, at the World Cup, well, not a final run, but a decent display they showed at the World Cup. Maybe Coach Randy Waldrum might not get the axe, but it's looking like he's gonna get the axe. What's your thoughts, AY?
Oh well, for every Nigerian sports enthusiast, some people already saw this coming, because the issue of the NFF is that you cannot eat your cake and you do what you have it. They always come back for it. They always tell you to give them the remnant, because you can't go away with it, and that's just exactly what they've done to Randy Waldrum now. In their own minds now, in their own books now, they are making him to pay for whatever it is that he has caused them, whatever it is that he has leaked to the open prior to the FIFA Women's World Cup, and then he's actually done no wrong, and we can always say big ups to him. Though we know all of these things are happening in our in our football federation, but then we just need someone to come out and then let us know exactly what it is, and rightfully he's done that. Hopefully he gets to enjoy his job with with the Pittsburgh team and then continue his life somewhere else. I tell you, before you know it, a big nation might just be snapping up this man, because I feel like he did show himself at the FIFA Women's World Cup.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, he made us to understand the type of impact he has on this set of players.
Yes.
And yes, I tell you, the loss of the NFL will be the gain of Randy Wardrum at the end of the day. Let's just hope that they pay him off, and then there's no other fracas at the end of the day, like him calling for them, just like around at the end of the day, and then he starts suing them to court. If you know you don't want him to be there anymore, make sure you pay him off, and they should just stop putting our dirty linings out there for everybody to see. Fine, they've sacked him on the note that they were not willing to renew his contract, because his contract ended immediately we were out of the FIFA Men's World Cup. But then we all know that for a layman, this is something
that might not be the reason. Yes,
this is something you can renew, but because of the fact that he called you people out in the open, you feel like it is right for you to punish him, and then you can't work with someone like that in the nearest future. Very much understandable, but then they themselves, they will meet the person that will do the same thing for them in the future.
I mean, it sounds like a curse to me, bro. What is going on here? Ladies and gentlemen, but of course, we're still having uncertainty about the possibility of Coach Jose Peseiro being the coach of the Super Eagles right now. As we are getting that the Super Eagles will get an interim coach. In the Sao Tome Principe match is the last match in the qualifiers. We're qualified already, but nonetheless we've got to play this match for the sake of for formality's sake. Nonetheless, we're going to get an interim coach. What is the hassle and what is the delay right now with Coach Jose Peseiro? We heard the first time I was going to take a pay cut. I was willing to take a pay cut to continue the team. What is this thing with uncertainty and instability with the Nigerian Football Federation and handling issues of coaches with the Super Eagles? Because I mean, it's inconsistent, and inconsistency will not bring the development or the results that we want as a footballing nation. I
mean, I tell you for a fact that I saw this update somewhere, and then it's from a reliable source, that some part of the the NFF Exco want Jose Peseiro to continue with his job. Another part wants him out. And then so it's like they are being divisive right now, and it's why they are bringing the issue of the pay cut thing, that okay, it's either you take it or you leave it. And anything that makes him to be like, I'm not taking the pay cuts dead, they will always come out clean like, yeah, it was his fault, it wasn't our fault in any way. But then we all know that right about now, the NFF, the General Assembly now wants Jose Peseiro out, and then some people are calling for maybe, let's say, Osine Guavon to come in, and we heard that another faction is calling for a certain Salisu Yusuf to come in, while another set of people wants Finidi George. And this is one of the major issues we usually have with our football setup. We are not always it's football, it's football, and then you cannot take out politics from football. But then I feel like they should have actually come to a consensus with this one. I mean, why having a divisive house on the how should I put it now, on how to pick a particular coach? If you have been divisive at this point in time, what then is going to happen when you at the end of the day install a head coach for these people? Well, let's just hope that Jose Peseiro is going to honor this last game, and may or may not be his last game in charge of the Super Eagles. But then they are giving him the option of taking a pay cut, and if you don't want it, you can go ahead, and just resign. But then not a good one, though, not a good one. I tell you, because it's just as though they are dragging us back in time. All right. I mentioned that it's just as though we're taking baby steps forward, and then we take like 5-6 steps backward, which is not the best thing we want for our football association right now. Look at every other African country. Look at the way, the manner, and the speed at which they are growing right now. And then it's something that at a point in time it used to be all about Nigeria, but now you always pick other African countries ahead, most especially the North African sides, because the people already feel like they are better than the sides from the West. And and they're right.
All right, let's see how it goes. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, away from that, let's go straight to the world of the Nigerian NPFL Professional Football League. I can tell you for certain, things are getting interesting as regards the league in Nigeria. Why do I say so? It is going to start off, and it's looking like it's not going to get postponed this time around. It is going to start off strong. Yes, defending champions, talking about Enyimba, will take on Bendel Insurance, the opening fixture of the 2023-2024 Nigeria Professional Football League season. The match day one encounter will take place at the Enyimba International Stadium in Aba. Our runners-up from last season, Remo Stars, will clash with Rivers United in another key fixture of match day one. The Sky Blue Stars will travel to Port Harcourt for the game. Former champions Plateau United will be up against Shooting Stars Sports Club at the Lake Osalami Stadium in Ibadan. While, of course, New Boys Sporting Lagos will host Heartland in their first ever NPL game. The new season will kick off on September 9 and next week by God's grace. And of course, Bayelsa United versus Aqua United rather. Shooting Stars will play Plateau United. Abia Warriors will play Niger Tornadoes. Enyimba, the big match of the day, will play Bendel Insurance. Rivers United will play Remo Stars. Katsina will play Kwara United. And of course, it's going to be a wonderful lineup of matches in the NPFL. It's a good one if you ask me.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I mean, let's talk about the blockbuster of a match we're going to be having, between
It's not just
Bendel
one
Insurance.
blockbuster of a match, though.
Yeah.
It's not just
It's
one.
not just one, yeah.
Yeah, it's not just one.
but nonetheless, this one is actually this one is going to be like, and I love I don't know how they did it, if this was intentional or they put it into like,
No, I mean the LG draw,
yeah,
The LG draw.
the other draw, but I don't know if the draw was intentional or they put it into like something that shuffled, because it looks like, who would have guessed the odds of an Enyimba,
Bendel Insurance squaring out
on the first day of the season. It's two teams that have a lot of history, NPFL history between them. Enyimba more and more with their time over time winners of the league. Bendel Insurance are the first winners of the NPFL. In the NPFL history, they won the first ever NPFL in NPFL history. Nonetheless, so what are your thoughts, AY, on the league, kicking off and this blockbuster of a match?
Well, I tell you, it's one season to really look out for, and then it's already serving us that interesting look already, and then that this season is going to be a very, very interesting one. And then just like I mentioned, that it's not just one blockbuster of the season. I tell you, or a match day really, because I tell you, I will be the first person to get to the the Mobolaji Johnson Arena in Onikon, and that's to go see the Sporting Lagos versus Gombe United. So if you're not doing anything on September 9, come on guys, let's go all out together. And then I tell you, you have the Rivers United versus Remo Stars as well, another one to really, really look out for, because we know how interesting Rivers United were 2 seasons ago, last season as well. Bad their bridge league stuff. I mean, they were the last winner of the regular league in 2022, if I'm not mistaken, and then last year Enyimba did it, and so we can always look out for them. And Remo Stars, they'll be looking to come back from that, from that disappointment at the continental stage, and then come into the league and then start on the front foot. And then you have the Enyimba versus Bendel Insurance, just like you mentioned, want to really, really look out for. And then hopefully Enyimba themselves, they will be looking to, after that disappointment as well, start on a good note, and then want to really mark the new era of certain Kanu Wako in that particular team, and every other the setup that is trying to put in place. Fine. I mean, just a couple of days ago, it was being said that the African Super League is out already, and then Enyimba will be the only Nigerians, so representative in that one as well. So it means a lot more matches for Enyimba this season, and then they just need to concentrate very much on this one. And for Bendel Insurance, they are still, on the continental stage, more and more work for them to be done, and then this is part of the things that will actually make them to get in good shape for the matches that are to come for them, because I tell you, the matches are going to be coming for them thick and fast. You can't take anything away from that. So we'll be wishing Coach Monday Odigi all the best, and then thank God they have the sport loving governor. I'm not saying other states don't have the sport loving governor, but this man is out there, is showing it. I mean, their last time when they are going to to Algeria, I was there with them at the airport before they left for to Lagos to come and connect. So it's a good one. It's a good one that they have someone who is supporting them, and then hopefully they are playing away from home though. But let's just hope that the luck will follow them all around, and then this season looks interesting already. All
right, let's see how it goes. Nonetheless, September 9, first match day, and the matches are a blockbuster. Enyimba, Bendel Insurance. Another game to look out for is Sunshine Stars versus Kano Pillars that will happen in Akure on Ondo State. It's going to be one interesting game because both teams also have a really rich history between both of them.
Yeah, they are the massive
It's going to be one. Shooting Stars and Plateau United as well. Interesting game. I look forward to when start having the derbies, the Southwest derbies, the Southeast derby. It's gonna be an interesting one to look out for.
And then
this
is not an ad, right? But guys just need to go get that app and make sure they follow the game live and direct as it's going. 8 games will be shown live in the first match week. So guys, make sure you follow it up. This is our own. We cannot compare the foreign leagues to our league. Let's support our very one, and then we can take it up the notch as well.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we leave that alone, let's go straight at some congratulatory mood. One of them is for Benin Insurance. The governor of the state, Gordon Obaseki, has rewarded victorious Benin Insurance of Benin. Yes, the governor on yesterday evening, received the victorious Benin Insurance Club of Benin in the team's return from Algeria after a 4-3 penalty shootout over the Asso Schleif in the CAF Confederations Cup first preliminary round. The sport-loving governor was visibly thrilled by the performance of the Benin Insurance FC in a 2-legged continental battle with the Algerian team, redeemed his pledge to Insurance FC. The governor made a promise to reward the insurance handsomely at the Benin airport before they left the state for Algiers last weekend. Though the amount of money Obaseki released to insurance as a token was not disclosed, but the team left Edo State government house happy. Thank you, my boys. You made us proud by going to Algeria to get results and qualify for the second round of the competition. All you need from us at this time is more encouragement. We have a long journey ahead of us, more work to be done, so we need to start preparations for the second round now, he said. This is what happens when the government of a state or the governor of a state sees football as a really interesting time out. One of the reasons that we can credit for the rise of Benin Insurance over the last 2-3 seasons is because of the active involvement of their government
and
in
the governor. The
governor and the deputy governor, particularly in how the team is being run, and they run a team like a proper team. One of the teams that you can look at right now and say, they are getting some things right administratively, and it's nice to see. But what I'm concerned about is we have seen this happen a lot of times, where of course this team they do well, they come back, they get they get remunerated or they get rewarded, and they go and flop in the end. We saw what happens with Rivers United when they were promised a huge sum of money by Nyesom Wike for if they qualified or if they won at time, and they went over and it became a thing.
For Rivers United, we can say it might just be a different ball game or maybe a different scenario entirely, because outside the fact that the governor promised them, there were other internal issues between that Rivers United side, and then it actually came out to play evidently that there was cases of corrupt practices within their ranks, and then they were not able to manage that perfectly. We heard that the governor promised them, but then they went to the continent and then they could not actually bring anything out of that. But for Benin Insurance, this team, you can always tell that this team is a very disciplined one, and then they are a team that actually knows exactly what they want for themselves. Look at this Benin Insurance. They've actually sold a couple of players who were there for them last season, and then they are still very much on the front foot. Who would have expected that they would do that against an Algeria side? Exactly, who would have thought? And then they are able to do it. And now the big test that is ahead of them now is how they are going to come up against a certain RS Berkane.
All right,
if they're able to do this RS Berkane, and then you can tell that they are the big guns in the Nigerian professional football league. Nobody can contest that at any point in time.
Before we go, let's take a look at what is happening in the transfer market. Friday is the deadline to wrap up the summer transfer window, and clubs are scrambling left and right. One of those clubs is Man City, who have agreed a verbal deal with Wolves to sign midfielder Matheus Nunes. The deal for the 25-year-old has not been formally agreed, but if completed, there will be no add-ons. City had a previous bid for the Portugal international rejected last week, with Wolves believed to be waiting in the excess of £60 million. Nunes has been absent from training recently after making it clear that he wants to join Pep Guardiola's side. One thing also confirmed is the movement of the Nigerian Folarin Balogun from Arsenal to Monaco for £35 million. In the meantime, we're hearing that, of course, the Fulham have lined up a bid of close to a lot, for Nigerian international Alex Iwobi. You ask me what exactly is happening, I'll tell you that for certain. And it's like it's like Everton are saying, you know what, you gotta bring out the money. Everton have reportedly slapped the hefty asking price on Nigerian Super Eagles midfielder Alex Iwobi Amid claims that Fulham are in talks to sign the former Arsenal man. 27-year-old has arguably been one of the bright sparks for the dismal few years of the Toffees, and is particularly stopping their top chance creator in Everton right now. According to what we're hearing, they're going to demand a sum of over £20 million, for him if he's to leave Everton. And of course, we're hearing that, of course, at the moment right now, Nottingham Forest have tabled a bid of £8 million for Wilfred Ndidi to come to their own side. AY, your thoughts on this, on this transfers before we wrap up?
Well, I feel for Manchester City, they are buying, and then as much as that, they are selling as well. Of course, yes, I just saw in the news that a certain Cole Palmer is also heading to Chelsea, and Chelsea are looking to buy him for £45 million. I mean, instead of splashing that amount of money on a certain Cole Palmer, why not instead go for Kudus before he went to West Ham United? Yeah. But then that is what Toboli wants to do. He wants to spend his money. Let him go ahead and spend his money. And then for Wilfred Ndidi, yeah, I mean, I would not want to say he made a wrong decision at the point in time in his career, because at the time when he was very much sought after in the English Premier League, he should have done himself the honor of leaving Leicester at that point in time. I mean, there was this season, that was the season after the COVID stuff. That should be 2021, where he was actually ranked among the top midfielders in the English Premier League.
It was £60 million
at that time. Yes. At that time, I tell you, he was very, very ranked high among defensive midfielders, because you cannot tell that a certain Leicester City is playing, and you will say that Wilfred Ndidi is not part of, very, very integral part of that team. But then at the end of the day, whatever it is happened, and now we saw how, it was not just his form that dwindled. The whole Leicester City side dwindled. And then you can see that everybody is looking for escape route now. Yuri Tillemans is out of there. James Maddison is out of there as well. I mean, the top guys are leaving, so it is less for himself and Kelechi Iheanacho to make sure they find a square root now. But then, understandably, the transfer fee will not be as high as it was then, because he's now a championship player. You can't take that away. But then I just feel like the number at which
and he's African.
Well, yeah, that can come out to play as well. I just like the number at which he came out to drop is something that, I mean, it's very, very bad. Almost like over 40,000 was removed. So wow, he just has to do it and then come to the English Premier League again, and then just try to to get back that form that actually made him the sought after. Because I tell you, a certain Manchester United side was actually locking around him at that point in time.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, before we go, let's bring you reports from the Carabao Cup happening right now. Chelsea is trailing against AFC Wimbledon 1-0. A penalty from Tiley for that one. But of course, right now, Chelsea controls possession with 5% to 15% for AFC Wimbledon. Are they going to come back?
Yeah, hopefully for Chelsea. And then don't forget that last night, Wilfred Ndidi was on the score sheet for Leicester City as well. In that game last night. So it tells you how pivotal this person is. But for Chelsea tonight, I feel like it will be very much too early for Chelsea to be out of the Carabao Cup at this point. So they just have to rally around and make sure they get the win. If it's the lineup that Mauricio Pochettino is putting into play now, he should better do some kind of substitution before the end of the second half, and then make sure they get this in court. Without this one, I tell you, there will be premium tiers for Chelsea.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's go right now. I want to say a big thank you to AY for coming on the show today.
It's a pleasure.
All right, we're going to see you by God's grace on Saturday for the robust edition of Sports Hub.
God spare us.
All right, so we'll come your way on Saturday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Stay sporty. Remember, the Sports in the Jiffy continues tomorrow from the hours of 10 to 10 minutes past 10. My name is ADT, the Radio OG. Stay sporty. From my end to yours, au revoir, adios, sayonara. Goodbye for now.